The June 16th, 2025 regular session meeting of the Cinnaminson Township Committee is now called to order. Everyone, please rise and join me in saluting the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Notice of this meeting was published in the Burlington County Times and the Courier Post on January 10th, 2025. Roll call, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Conda.
Here.
Mr. McGill.
Here.
Mr. Segrist.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Here.
Mayor Crago.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, liaison reports. We'll start with Committee Member Conda for Administration and Health and Senior Services.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening I have no report, which is a good thing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Conda. Committee Member Segrist for Public Works.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. New Jersey American Water is beginning the first phase of their water main replacement this week, starting this week. The following roads are included in this replacement or in this phase. It's Laurel Drive, Holly Lane, Lilac Lane, Boxwood Lane, Walnut Place, Chestnut Lane, Willow Drive. Phase 1 of the project consists of the installation of new water mains within the roadway. Questions or concerns relating to this project can be directed to American Water at 609-667-9903. Residents should expect local road closures during this project. The police department will coordinate traffic during the work. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. Committee Member McGill for Public Safety.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The following incidents were reported by the Police Department for the last month. Total incidents responded to was 3,233. Total cases pulled, 45. Total arrests made, 24. Total property checks, 1,134. Total motor vehicle stops, 780. Total motor vehicle summons issued, 224. Total DWI arrests, 5. Total MVAs, 63. Morgan Cemetery calls, 62 property checks, no other issues. Approved firearm permits, 11. Approved concealed carry permits, 5. Temporary handicap permits issued was 5. And next month, I don't have this past month's call volume for the 800 block of Bellevue, but I will get that next month for the past 2. That concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McGill. Deputy Mayor Horner, Finance and Economic Development.
Nothing to report this evening, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. So in regards to Parks and Recreation, we have several items on tonight's agenda in our resolution section, but we also have some community events and activities to mention. Palmyra, Riverton, and Cinnaminson will jointly be sponsoring Juneteenth Celebration of Culture. That's this Thursday, June 19th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Palmyra Community Center. Our summer concert series will be starting Thursday, July 10th at 7 p.m. at Wood Park. Our first featured band will be Beatlemania Again. It's a Beatles tribute band. The concerts will continue every Thursday evening and run through August 28th, weather permitting. And we are hosting our annual summer tennis lessons program for Cinnaminson Township youth and adults ages 5 and up. Lessons will run July 15th through August 14th and will take place every Tuesday and Thursday at the tennis courts at Wood Park. The cost of this program is free to our residents ages 5 through 14 and a $35 charge for ages 15 and up. Participant registration is required and can be found, the information pertaining to that on the Cinnaminson website, cinnaminsonnj.org. That concludes my report. We have an ordinance for public hearing this evening. This is ordinance 2025-12. It's an ordinance of the Township of Cinnaminson, County of Burlington, and State of New Jersey, authorizing execution of an amendment to a financial agreement between the Township of Cinnaminson and Cinnaminson Urban Renewal Mount LLC, and consenting to the sale of the project and transfer of the financial agreement relating to the senior living facility on Block 1304, Lot 18, on the official tax map of the Township of Cinnaminson pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law, NJSA 40A 20-1. The township was recently notified that CSW, Cinnaminson Urban Renewal, is selling the Azalea at Cinnaminson property to Senior Living of Cinnaminson DST, who will be subsequently be leasing the property to IHC Cinnaminson Urban Renewal Mount LLC. As such, the existing financial agreement needs to be amended so the terms of the agreement may be appropriately assigned to the entity on record. The financial terms of the agreement remain unchanged. Township Solicitor Carmen Sagenario recommends that the agreement is authorized by the governing body. May I have a motion to open public comment on ordinance 2025-12?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment is now open on ordinance 2025-12. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing no one come forward, I will make a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2025-12. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Okay, public comment is closed on ordinance 2025-12. May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-12?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Conda.
Aye.
Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Segrest.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Craybill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Resolution 2025-76, authorize award of contract to Keystone Sports Construction for basketball courts at Garfield Park. Public Works Superintendent prepared specifications for the reconstruction of the Garfield Park basketball courts. Proposals were received and reviewed by township professionals. This project is being funded in part by a grant in the amount of $70,000 through the fiscal year 2024 State Local Recreation Improvement Program. Chief Financial Officer and Purchasing Agent Julia Edmondson has determined that sufficient funding is available for this purpose and recommends that the governing body authorize the award of contract to Keystone Sports Construction through the New Jersey Edge Cooperative Agreement in the amount of $239,279.62. Resolution 2025-77, authorize submission of grant application and execution of a grant contract for Burlington County fiscal year 2025 Municipal Park Development Program for an inclusive playground at Memorial Park. The resolution will permit the township to file a grant application with the Burlington County fiscal year 2025 Park Development Program in the amount of $175,000 for an inclusive playground at Memorial Park. Resolution 2025-78, authorized grant application for 2026 New Jersey Department of Transportation Trust Fund resurfacing of Westfield Drive. This resolution will permit the township to file a grant application with the New Jersey Department of Transportation State Aid Program in the amount of $316,910 for the resurfacing of Westfield Drive. Resolution 2025-79, authorized refund of tax overpayment for Block 3005, Lot 20. Tax collector Sandy Root has determined that the property owner is owed a tax refund due to payments by both the property owner and the mortgage company. Resolution 2025-80, authorized refund of tax overpayment, Block 307.15, Lot 1, Qual C0126. Tax assessor Dennis DeClerc determined that the property owner is owed a tax refund due to an assessment modification. Resolution 2025-81, authorize adoption and allocation of funds for an outdoor fitness court as part of the 2026 National Fitness Campaign. The township has secured a grant in the amount of $40,000 for the construction of a fitness court at Memorial Park. The court will include fitness stations and fitness area for exercise classes. The township will apply for the additional grant funds and have committed local funding to pursue the project. Resolution 2025-82, authorize endorsement of the fourth round housing element and fair share plan and approving draft zoning ordinance revisions and amendments. The township's planning board determined that the fourth round housing element and fair share plan prepared by the township planner Frank Banish is consistent with the township's master plan and meets the state-approved affordable housing obligation. Affordable Housing Council John Gillespie's recommendations that the fourth round housing element and fair share plan is endorsed by the governing body. Resolution 2025-83, authorize appointment of members of Sports Advisory Committee. Township Committee recently adopted an ordinance which established the Sports Advisory Committee. The purpose of this committee is to serve as a conduit of communication among the sports group leaders and township representatives with the goals of improving the overall participant experience and promoting sports participation growth in the township. The appointed members shall serve through the remainder of 2025. Resolution 2025-84, authorize appointment of members of Substance Abuse Awareness Committee. The Township Committee recently adopted an ordinance which establishes the Substance Abuse Awareness Committee. The purpose of this committee is to plan education and public awareness programs and to develop community addiction prevention strategies, which are funded solely by the National Opioid Abuse Settlement Trust. The appointed members shall serve through the remainder of 2025. Resolution 2025-85, authorize appointment of members of Cultural Affairs Committee. The Township Committee recently adopted an ordinance which establishes the Cultural Affairs Committee. The purpose of this committee is to coordinate and conduct cultural programs and activities including concerts, festivals, exhibits, holiday events, services, classes, and other similar programs and activities. The appointed members shall serve through the remainder of 2025. Okay, that's the end of our consent agenda items. I will open, or will make a motion to open public comment on the consent agenda items only. May I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Kondo. Voice vote, please.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment is now open for the consent agenda items only. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Mona Washington. I live at 908 James Avenue. I just had a question. Number Resolution 202577, it says Development Program for Inclusive Playground, and I just thought, as opposed to non-inclusive, is this a special kind of for
Inclusive means
disabilities?
similar to like a Jake's Park, so that everyone with any sort of disability or cognitive
needs.
skills could also utilize our parks in conjunction with everybody else who's free at play.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Jamela Shepherd, 215 Front Street, Palmyra, New Jersey, speaking on behalf of the Civic Center of Riverton, East Riverton, and Palmyra. I have two questions on Resolution 2025-58. Who are the members of the Cultural Affairs Committee? Is that closed or open for people to join? Is it closed or open?
You mean
85.
2025-85, yes.
Those were appointed members. There are 3 residents appointed to the committee. They've already been selected to be appointed to that committee. But their term is only through 2025, so if there's an interest for 2026, please let us know. We did announce that we would be asking for 3 residents when we had this ordinance, when we did a public hearing on this ordinance, that we'd be accepting interest, and these were the residents that came forward.
Okay, so that would probably be the same thing for 2025-83. The
80
sport group leaders.
The sports group leaders, that's not voluntary per se. They are the leaders who are on the board programs for our sports programs that are recognized in town.
Okay,
So, but that would be similar to on 84 for the substance abuse, where that also asked for 3 residents to participate.
okay. And my next question is, at the last meeting, we were told that the approval of the sidewalks, And we have
Sorry,
it-
that's not part of the consent agenda.
Okay.
Items only.
But you can come back up for that during public comment.
okay. We know that Ms. Shepherd is always anxious.
That's quite all right, quite all right.
Good evening, Reneola Davis, 2108 Hunter Street. I was just wondering if you could give me a better description of the outdoor fitness park.
Well, this is for grant funding currently.
Right.
Eric, do you have,
Sure.
Mr.
Mayor,
Schuberger,
I
I'm
can give
sorry.
you a little bit more detail, if
Yes,
that's okay.
please.
So it's a fitness court that's going to be placed, if everything goes through. This is, again, as the mayor said, we're committing to the effort. We secured a $40,000 grant from the National Fitness Foundation, and now we're applying for another grant to help with the costs. If you could imagine about a tennis court size facility or court, half of it would be a bunch of fitness elements that people would be able to go to from one to another. You might have seen them in some parks before. The other half will sort of be a blank slate of a court that would be for yoga, Pilates, and exercise classes. It would be all part of the same court, half and half. And we're looking to put that over at Memorial Park as well. But we have a ways to go. This is just applying
Yeah,
for
I
the
just
grant funding.
wondered.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's what it would be, another addition to that park.
Okay.
Thanks, Eric.
Mike Goins, 100 Purnell. On 2025-76, was any input received from the residents locally about the basketball courts? Because I know the tennis courts are all the way in the back there. I'd like to see them moved up to the front. So I don't know if any residents input, because I know I talked about that after the grant was approved. And like I said before, we got mailing cards when they did away with the softball field there, baseball field, asking for inputs. So that's one question I have. I've got several. You want me to go through them first?
Go right ahead.
Okay, on 77, how's the soft costs going to be covered for that? Because I know that grant doesn't allow for you to cover engineering or equipment and that type of thing.
Do you want to answer them in order?
Yeah, what do you want,
Go-
you want me to
That's fine.
just
This
wait
way
until he's
people-
done and then I'll?
Yeah, let's answer in order so people don't get confused. We just
Okay,
go ahead and do it
I'm
that.
taking notes.
Go-
You can answer them in order.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean
go ahead,
now?
yeah, we'll just
Oh.
go ahead now.
I thought you meant in order once he's done.
Yeah,
Right,
we'll-
that's what
we'll
I
just
thought too.
We don't talk much, no, I'm kidding. All right, so the first one, as far as the basketball court, just so I understand, Mr. Goins, what would you said you made some comments about relocating it? Or-
Tennis court.
The tennis courts are all the way back in
Okay.
the corner, and it's not used because it's all the way back, and it gets covered with leaves and dirt and everything else type of thing.
So-
Bring it up front, it might get used type of thing.
Okay, so as far as the basketball courts are concerned, I don't know if it was discussed at another subcommittee or at like the Parks and Recreation Committee, but I can tell you that the best, most cost-effective way to reconstruct the basketball courts would be to keep them where they are and reconstruct them. And I believe that is, Mr. Gaughan's here, but I think that's where we're going with it. Doesn't mean we can't talk about moving some things around in the park.
Yeah, I'm not
at
saying
other
do
points.
away with the basketball courts. I'm just saying. move-
I didn't think so. I remember you being excited when you heard about the grant, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, so it's just going to be a reconstruction, resurfacing on the existing footprint. So
Right.
that's for that. Does that answer, at least for now, your
Kind of,
question?
because like I did talk to Kevin before about this, that there's that paper road there that we own, that you can move the basketball courts maybe over there, because there is that paper road that never went through, so we own it.
Yeah, I think that would probably require a great more amount of effort and money just to get the basketball courts redone. A lot of people use them, as you probably know, and I think with this grant and with the capital funding that we've put together to get it done, it'll be one element of that park that'll be a major upgrade. But looking big picture, we're always there with you. We'll consider all that.
Okay.
The second question was about soft costs for
Under 77.
the playground. So for 77, that's the inclusive playground. So that is another example of the governing body committing to a project that's going to have a variety of revenue sources. The grant's one of them. We're also going to have capital funding available for a variety of other purposes, including those costs.
So we'll cover the cost, not another grant or anything?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's.
Does that answer?
Yeah, that
Okay.
answers that question. 78 is the resurfacing Westfield Drive, and I did drive through there, and I'll be honest, and I said it the last meeting, Thomas Ave is a lot worse than Westfield, so I don't know if, why they're doing Westfield, how was that decision made versus Thomas, because Thomas is terrible. It's got potholes all up and down, and Westfield does not. I've driven it just last week rather. So how was that decided? Because, I looked at the map when the map was last done, and that does show, I forget what the colors are, green and yellow? And red. So,
Mayor, can I provide some commentary?
Please.
So I can tell you that we do follow our road improvement program. That was done, and in all candor, it needs to be updated again because it's been a few years. But the engineer, our R&V, Mr. Barbadoro, our Public Works Superintendent, and I discussed the roads that are probably next in line. They keep a list. That was one of them, and after discussing it with them, we decided that would probably be the next road. It doesn't mean we think that the other roads don't need it either. And look, I know you go to a lot of the meetings. You probably see several times a year we're awarding a contract or going out for grant funding for other roads. I don't want to speak for Mr. Gahn. He's here, and I can tell you that road has come up, Thomas Ave, as one that we're going to be efforting, but it's not today.
yeah, because they keep patching the one side, and,
I-
it keeps blowing out constantly, and even more places, there's more and more potholes. So,
Understood.
that
I
was my
appreciate the
question on
input.
that.
It's not one that we've lost sight of, for sure.
Okay, 81, you did answer my question, because my question was going to be on what park was that going to be at? So you already answered that because it wasn't in the
Okay.
attachment. And 82, at the last planning board meeting, when they talked about, a lot of residents talked about making streets no parking on one side, and I recall under the ordinance 2025-2, a lot of that section in East Riverton is going to be no parking on certain sides. My question is, when are those signs going to be put up? So quite a few residents spoke at the last meeting, planning board meeting, about getting no parking on certain roads.
Madam Mayor, while I will not give you a date on that, I can tell you it's going to be sooner than later. We know that's something that needs to get done.
Okay. I'm just, because the ordinance was passed
Understood.
March, type of thing, and
My days of giving dates on anything are long over, sir.
So it's in
once the
works,
sidewalks
Mr.
go in.
Jones. It's in the works without committing
It-
to a specific date.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I think it's going to alleviate a lot of the questions that were brought up in the last planning board meeting for
I
that.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Goines.
Thank you.
Good evening, Jerry Himes, 808 Turner Avenue. I just would like for someone to expand on Resolution 2025-84 as to how the appointment of the members of the Substance Abuse Awareness Committee will function.
It consists of a coordinator, 3 residents, a township liaison, and then we will work with police, fire, public works. Are we talking substance?
This is substance awareness,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what the board consists of.
So,
Does anybody get referred to that if someone had a substance abuse issue? Is that
Yes.
something that,
Yes, they have.
okay, so how will they find out that they can be, that they can access that?
How the resources through the committee, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
We're just formulating the committee now, so it's in its infancy stages, so we are just appointing members now. So the board isn't fully functioning and active, but it will be as of, the first meeting will be in July.
Okay, it'll be publicized so
Mm-hmm.
people can, that will be.
Well, once there's information will be put out, that board will develop information in regards to how we'll be utilizing some of this funding to bring awareness and/or provide resources.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Jim Francis, 804 Bellevue Avenue, Cinnaminson. The parking signs or the no parking signs that were asked about a minute ago in East Riverton, I have one request. Please, before,
We're going to stop you there. This is just for the ordinances only right now.
oh, I'm out of,
Yeah.
I'm
When-
sorry,
When you
I'm sorry.
come back up when we have the,
you're right.
that'll give you more chance to expand on that. Thank you.
Okay. All right, seeing no one else come forward, I will make a motion to close public comment on the consent agenda items. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Conda. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, public comment is now closed. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor, to approve the consent agenda as read.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Roll call vote, please,
Yes,
Madam
Mayor.
Secretary.
Mr. Conda.
Aye.
Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Segrist.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Crayville.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the approval of the minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 2nd, 2025?
I will make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. May I have a second?
I will second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Conda.
Aye.
Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Segrist.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Crayville.
Aye.
Thank you.
Has everybody had an opportunity to review the bill list?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the bill list?
Make a motion to approve the bill list, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, Mr. Conda. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Mr. Conda.
Aye.
Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Segrist.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Crayville.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any comments from our staff or professionals this evening?
Mayor, I have one, if I may.
Please.
So, I just want to comment on the fact that if you look at our agenda tonight, there's a lot of legislation here, but there is sort of a theme as well. And I think it shows the Township Committee support and advocacy for parks and recreation in this town, which is unparalleled in my opinion. For example, the basketball courts are on tonight's agenda. That grant has already been secured, and the capital funding has been accounted for, and we're going to move forward with that project when we award this contract, hopefully tonight. Well, you did. 2, the inclusive playground, the accessible playground, thank you, is something that I think we've been talking about, and in particular, Mayor Cravel, who's the liaison to Parks and Recreation, this is something that she's asked us to look into, we're moving in the right direction. Also, the amount of exercise classes and fitness needs in our community seems to be growing expeditiously. We have free classes in the park. People asking us all the time, can they use our park to have yoga and Pilates and all the things that I should be doing that I'm not. Now we are moving ahead with something that will give them a platform to have those classes. I look forward to it. And then certainly last but not least important, the Sports Advisory Committee. I think that's another example, particularly with Mayor Cravel as Parks and Recreation liaison, but the whole governing body, identifying something that was brought to this dais about a concern for a place at the mic might have been the words used, or a seat at the table, specifically for youth sports. And this committee followed through to create that committee, and now it's in place. And I think that's a real advancement, because we have such an involved youth sports community in general, but particularly with our young people. And now that committee is going to be there to be a driving force to make sure they have the best facilities, that there's coordination among the various sports groups, which is not always that easy. Everyone wants what they want. It's a good problem to have. But that's now a vehicle for us to utilize. So just those 4 things alone, and there'll be other things throughout the year, I promise. But this is a good agenda which illustrates the support for Parks and Recreation in Cinnaminson. So I'm proud to be a part of it, and I want to thank the governing body and Mayor Cravel for being a leader in that respect. In all your respects, but particularly in that one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other comments or from professionals? Okay. All right, so we're moving on to the area that everybody is most looking forward to. Public comment. I will make a motion to open public comment. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment is now open. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Jamela Shepherd, 215 Front Street, Palmyra, New Jersey, speaking on behalf of the Civic Club of Riverton, East Riverton, Palmyra. I would like to comment first on the playground situation, which I think is great. I wish we had enough money and grants to do that for every playground, to be inclusive. But I know that's impossible right now. So we're going to go to the East Riverton Park. A couple months ago, I had asked to please review the awnings. The trees were taken down, and we were given 2 awnings. We really need 2 more. If you could come up and just visit the playground, different parts, you'll see where we had the handicap seat, that there's no awning over that part. So if somebody could just come out and check it. So please keep that in your review. Maybe you can come out and just double check, because it's going to be hot, and the awnings do not cover it. Number 2, at the last meeting, I was informed, good news, that we did have a bidder, and the bidder was accepted for the sidewalk. I would like to know how soon can we put the shovel in the ground and start? Maybe tomorrow.
Not
Or
quite tomorrow.
Or if you could
but-
just give me an about time, like maybe next month. And the only reason why I'm asking, because summer is going to be here. You can't believe how many kids walk up and down Union Landing to get to Walmart. I mean, they're up and down the street constantly. And they're in the street. And that's all I can say, because now it's getting to be, well, it's always a safety issue when you have sidewalks. But now summer's here again. And just ride out there any time of day, soon school lets out, and you will see kids heading up the street. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
I'll start all over. Jim Francis, 804 Bellevue Avenue, Cinnaminson, New Jersey. It was brought up about the parking in East Riverton. It's tight whether it's on the Union Landing side of East Riverton or over on the Bellevue Avenue side of East Riverton. And the only thing that I'm asking the committee, would you guys please, 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 and for all the East Riverton folks, before you do a hip jerk reaction and throw up all kinds of signs, would you take the time and go through the neighborhood and really look at the amount of cars and what we have and the parking situation in itself? When you do, could you kindly, whatever it takes to notify everyone, and then also in the same consideration, because at the last meeting, a lot of folks were talking about some of their streets, the way they flood after certain rains anymore. So you don't want to put parking on that side of the street that is actually a flood side of the street versus the opposite side of the street. And this is what I'm getting at. I think you really need to do a good study in this area before we do a hip reaction on no parking and different things. It's crowded. Everybody has at least 2 cars now per family. And then if it's not going to work in front of those homes, where are they going to park their cars? Over in the public parking lot by the New Jersey Transit Authority? Is there any additional space? What is really going to happen? I think you need a really good study before we do anything crucial in East Riverton. It's a lot tighter than you think it is. And then the last thing, actually, since Ms. Shepherd keeps bringing up the sidewalk, also in the sidewalk, how big or how wide is this sidewalk going to be? Is it actually going to be that we can get like 2 people and a bicycle to go up and down on the sidewalk? Like, is it going to be 3 wide, 5 wide, 6 wide, but plausible enough for both traffic going up and down, whether it's foot traffic or a scooter or anything like that, where they're not pushed off to the side or into the grass, or whether they have a stroller. I think that's an important thing, is the width of the sidewalk. And also, too, is the sidewalk going to be from the end of Hunters out to Route 130, or if it's actually widened, is it going to extend all the way down to Broad Street or River Road or whatever you want to name? It's got multiple names. But anyway, I think that's a fair question as far as being able to have plausible traffic going back and forth, up and down in a safe manner. That's all my questions for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Francis.
Mayor, I was just going to
Yeah.
comment. I mean, I don't have the spec, the design in front of me, but I could certainly review the plan with our engineer and
Just to
maybe
look at
provide
it.
Mr. Francis that info separately, if that's okay with you.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, Mr. Francis, if we provide that information to you in regards to the scope of? the
I'll make sure
sidewalk?
someone reaches out to you with those answers. I just don't have the design right in front of me, so we can get someone.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
For everyone, but we want to make it safe for traffic back and forth.
Sure.
Hi, it's Mona Washington again, 908 James Avenue. I live on a dead end, and part of me is nostalgic. Growing up, it was always the safest place in the neighborhood to play. Now there are a lot more people with a lot more cars. There's one new house on the end. James Avenue, it ends at Hunter's Farm. So there's a sliver of land they built a house on. I'm told that a couple more houses are going to be built, and land that was bought opposite that side. So there was a big lot, and part of it was sold, I think, to the same developer. I think some houses have 4 or 5 cars. I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, but I echo that being very, very crowded. I know some neighborhoods, you get, I don't know, 2 stickers per car or something, and then after that, people have to pay or something, but there's a priority given to the residents. I think I feel it maybe more than others also because I live across the street from the center. But the last year, party or two combined with the voting situation, it just makes me think that there hasn't been, I wouldn't say a study, but attention given to the fact that a lot more people have cars. Growing up, we had 1 car. When Mom started working, we had 2 cars. And me and my sister borrowed cars. I kid you not, there are people, 5 people in the house, every single person has a car. There was a house like that on Davis Avenue. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I'm saying it is contributing significantly to traffic. Yeah, and the one thing I can think of is maybe everybody gets a certain amount, and then after that you have to pay or something. I don't know. I don't know what other towns do. I know parts of Philadelphia that I'm in, there's you get 1 sticker, and then you're on your own. I was in Haddonfield the other day. They have neighborhoods like that too. Certain areas are given preference. Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jerry Hines, 808 Turner Avenue. I just want to, again, address the burnout twin house on Union Landing Road. At the planning board meeting, there was a comment that the side where there are residents would need to leave before something could be done about that property. And I just want to clarify that because I was under the impression that the section the side that's burnt out would be either demolished or refurbished. Something would happen with that section, that it wasn't a situation where the people who live there would have to move before somebody does something. Because it still looks the same. It's been looking like this now for a good 3 years, maybe more, and it's just burnt out. No windows, no wood in the window, just animals inside, trash, people, whoever, we're going into summer. I've addressed this several times here at this committee, and nothing seems to happen. What can be the holdup for this long for the community to look at a burned out house with no windows, trash inside, and next door? I mean, you look out your window and this is your view.
Mr. Shabir, could you elaborate on the process?
Yeah, so as you alluded to, Ms. Hines, none of us like it. We know it's an issue. I don't know about the comment that you heard. I'd have to check on that about the residents on the other side, but it is a very unique situation because of how the structure is today as we see it, because there's another family there.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings into, as opposed to a single dwelling where we can go through the process to demolish it, that's not the case here. So there's a lot of communication and a lot of boxes we have to check before we can take any action. Now, that being said, I think there's some remediation that can occur that might not be the way that we all want to see it in the interim. Like you're mentioning things that are nuisances, we could address that. But the structure itself, because of the nature of how it's laid out, it makes it a lot more difficult. And I'm not trying to give you an excuse, I'm just being honest with you. If it was a single dwelling, it would have been done, in my opinion. So I wish I had a direct answer to say it's going to be gone tomorrow. It's not. But I'm working with the team as best we can to try to do something to at least shore it up. Because while we want to make sure that it's not structurally a problem, we want to honor the fact that there's people living there as well on the other side. So we're balancing all that as best we can. It's not easy. I don't like it. I know there's work to be done. We're going to get at it as best we can, but it's just a different situation.
Yeah, I understand that, but it has been a really long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, 3 years
No
like
question.
that. Could the township at least board the windows up so that children won't go in and get hurt or set another fire? I don't know. Just something, just open windows like that, the rain, whatever, the elements go, it's just.
I think that's a reasonable request.
So that's what I was, thank you. That's what I was alluding to. There's some remediation we can take care of that might not actually be part of a demo, but just to shore it up for safety reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had those discussions recently with the people that I need to have them with. I think you'll see action there. But that dwelling, frankly, it's not one, the way the structure is there, it's not something that I have a lot of experience with, but I got to talk to the people who do to figure it out. But in the meantime, we'll make some progress on making it safer and trying to keep some of the things that are in there out of there.
That would be great. There, at one point, the brush was really, I mean, it was just weeds all the way up. Somebody from the township did, go in and do something at some point. So if that could happen again before it gets like it was before, because it was like a jungle. So that would be great also, along with boarding up those windows.
We'll get on it, we'll do the best we can to make
Okay.
some progress.
Appreciate it.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's William Schlachter. I live at 310 Bell Road, proximity to where the new Chick-fil-A is being built. First question I have to the board here is, how do you approve minutes? When I review the minutes for the meeting back for that was carried on May 24th, 22, every board meeting from that time forward, up through it when it was signed on October 11th, 2022, I never saw approval for those minutes. Could you please explain what's the procedure for approving board minutes after a board has it?
Are you talking township committee board, or are you talking planning board?
This is
or are you
planning board,
Okay,
but it still
planning.
matters because the township committee is the redeveloper for this whole section. According to section, where is, if I look at the section, I got so much stuff here. According to the regulation of the township committee is the redeveloper for everything. So I'm asking, what is the procedure for the minutes?
Mr. Schlachter, in this case, you're talking about the planning board?
No, I'm just asking
No,
what's
no,
the procedure.
Can we just
May
finish?
May I finish? That board would be responsible for approving their own minutes as part of their public meeting. Whether or not the township committee is the redevelopment authority has nothing to do with approving minutes at their own particular meeting. So they're the ones governing that meeting. They know what's being said there. So that's the body that would approve those minutes for that
I
meeting.
understand that, sir.
Okay.
My question is, what is the procedure for approving minutes to any organization within the township of Cinnaminson? What is your procedure for approving board minutes?
Want me to answer that?
Sure, please.
So, every public entity is required under the law to maintain, keep minutes of their public meetings. We do that, the sewer authority does that, the planning board does that, the zoning board does that, all of the Board of Education does that, everyone does it pretty much the same way. The minutes are then recorded. They are essentially typed up, written down. They are provided to township committee or whatever governing body may be out there. They review the minutes, and then on the subsequent meeting agenda, as it is this evening, there's approval of the minutes of a particular meeting. So the minutes don't become approved or formally entered into the record until they're approved at the subsequent meeting. And I believe that's the way the planning board does it. I know the sewer authority does it that way. Committee's done that way for decades.
I would agree with you.
So I hope that answers your question.
They've never done that.
Who has never done
The
that?
planning board. They never approved these minutes. Next,
Approve what minutes, sir?
they're meeting on October 24th, 2022 for the development of the Chick-fil-A.
Sir, what I will say is, and again, if I don't know if the committee can comment on that, but frankly, sir, you would have to address that with the planning board.
Well, I'm addressing to the redevelopment authority, which is the township committee. Township committee under section 411 redevelopment is the redevelopment authority for the township of Cinnaminson. Am I not correct? According to your own zoning regulations, Chapter 411, redevelopment. You are the redevelopment
Do
authority.
you think we approved the minutes?
We have no authority to require the planning board
No,
to-
no, I'm just,
to
I'm
approve
not,
their minutes.
I'm not saying that, but you are the redevelopment authority which oversees the planning board.
No, that's where
That's
you're
not true, sir.
mistaken. That's where I think you may be a little bit confused. The redevelopment authority, in this case, as you're referring to, is the township committee. We don't have authority over the planning board. They are an independent board separate from township committee.
Okay. Okay, so they never, okay, so we agree upon that. The next
Excuse me,
question.
sir, we didn't agree, just so we're clear for the record, we didn't agree on
about how
anything.
a board should approve their minutes. That's the one thing we agreed upon.
I explained to you what the process is.
Right, so
I'm not
that
going-
process
We're not
is-
going to give you an opinion as to what the
I
planning board should
certainly
do.
understand that, sir. I understand. The other question I would have from a board perspective, when you have minutes, should you not have all the items that are discussed attached to those minutes? So what,
Can I answer your question?
Yes.
The minutes are required to have essentially a summary, sir, of what occurred in the meeting. The minutes are not intended to, nor are they required to be a transcript of exactly what happened in the meeting, nor are the minutes required to necessarily attach any documents that are referred to in the meeting. However, I would suggest to you that if there are documents that are referred to in a particular meeting that are not attached to the minutes, you have every right as a citizen to request those documents under the Open Public Records Act, which, unless they are exempt, they should be produced to you.
I have, they were not produced in a timely manner.
Who did you request those documents from,
To
sir?
the township.
What board of the township?
Township clerk.
Well, if you could, not today, but identify which documents you had requested, when you requested them, and whether they were denied or simply ignored, I don't know the answer to that question, sir.
Okay. Lisa could answer that question for you.
I prefer Lisa not engage at this point.
I understand. I requested that. I can tell you exactly when I requested, May 29th.
What'd you request, sir?
Oops, excuse me. Okay, I will show you a copy of what I requested. There's page 1, and there's a page 2.
Could you just read the request, sir?
Sir, answer the chief.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Could you just read the request that you submitted,
Yeah, I'll read.
if you don't mind?
A copy of the drawings for the construction of the Chick-fil-A of the planning board meeting dated May 24th, 2002. That was presented to the public. I went to review to see if what is currently being constructed is presented in the May 24th, 2022. Since a sign that was placed on the building had to be removed when I asked the township about it, since it was not specifically not to be there. What else is being constructed or changed without public notice?
So, sir, if I could, so, without seeing your request, it sounds like you requested a copy of drawings that were approved and/or submitted to the planning board, correct? So your request is properly made to the planning board, not to the township clerk.
Yes.
That's the first thing. The second thing that it appears as if you're requesting is information. And we, as you can see by listening to tonight's meeting, we do our best to provide information to the public when they ask questions. However, when you request documents in an Open Public Records Act request, you need to request documents, not information.
Correct.
If you need information from the planning board, with all due respect, you go to the planning board, they should have a public comment period like we do. Mike, do they? Thank you. And you can ask those questions in public comment, and hopefully they'll answer your questions.
Okay.
But that request that you appear to have made was made to, should have been made to the planning board.
See all this light coming over from there? We got a tremendous amount of light from the building there, which was, I'm making the township aware, because my understanding, and I could be wrong, tell me this, when your accounting firm comes in each year to do the audit, they should have all the information that was at each board meeting attached to it. In this case, it was not, because I requested information. They had to go to an architect to get the information. When they gave me some information, which was incorrect because I wanted to sign architect plans, so I know what the signed architect plans were, not just drawings, and they were not of that specific date. So they had to go get another ones. And unfortunately, last week I wound up in the hospital at the end of the week, so I could not check with Lisa beforehand, since I came here. But specifically, here's the reason why I'm asking. I'm just giving you an example, so maybe the township committee, which oversees everything, will make sure all board meetings understand that they have to have everything done properly. It said, and I understand that the individuals cannot write everything down. Here is for that meeting that was held. Mr. Schlachter, he expressed his concerns to the board. The board, that was it. After that, they listened, blah, blah. The applicant indicate they will revise their lighting plan. He advised the applicant will submit plans and they will review them.
Was that the planning board, sir?
Yes. I'm just telling you why. I understand that, sir.
If I could point out.
You don't understand.
If I could point out, sir, if I could point out, please let me finish. If you reviewed the agenda for tonight's meeting, and I know you haven't been here many times like some of the others here, on the back of the agenda are the rules governing public comment. And one of the things that this committee doesn't do is, for lack of a better word, is shut people down. So there's no intention to shut anyone down. However, the rules specifically provide that public comment are to be related to matters within the jurisdiction of Township Committee. 99% of the questions you're asking tonight and the comments you're making are issues that are not within the jurisdiction of this committee. They're within the jurisdiction of the planning board. Just so you know, this board here has no jurisdiction over the planning board. They are a separate and independent entity with their own appointed board members, their own solicitor, their own staff. So I would respectfully ask you to, if you have issues regarding planning board approvals of what's going on in the site, that you direct them to the planning board.
Okay, I understand. I need to ask just one question. Under the township Cinnaminson Code, it says the township committee acting as the redevelopment entity within the township of Cinnaminson shall review all proposed redevelopment projects. Are you not the township committee?
Yes, and the township does review all proposed redevelopment projects.
That's why I came, since you do review everything, I'm telling you that I can do puppet figures from the light shining into my house. And the poor elderly lady next door is unbelievable how the light is shining in their house. I mean, it's disgraceful. May I show you a picture?
Sir,
Just so that the board's informed of where.
You could submit anything that you'd like to submit. I would say, again, that public comment is limited to 5 minutes.
Okay, my 5 minutes are up. What should I do? What should the next procedure be? Who should I contact the board before that's completed? Because I felt that the board meeting there was inappropriate because it said everything was going to be taken care of by eminent domain, and it was never done by eminent domain. We know Miss Theo Lee won that case against Cinnaminson Township for eminent domain. Eminent domain was never part of that, and the whole meeting was talking about eminent domain.
That was back.
I'm just saying how it worked.
That was years ago, sir. I'm sure of it.
Okay, sir,
Yes.
your 5 minutes are up. Please sit down.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I just want to
Thank
make
you.
sure everybody's aware.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Can I ask again, who does the audit for Cinnaminson?
Sir, your 5 minutes are up. They'll answer you at the end of the meeting.
Ask who does the audit for Cinnaminson.
Good evening. Bill Graham, 306 Bell Road, Cinnaminson.
You want to know who does the audit?
How'd you guess? So, we're all dealing with our new neighbor, Chick-fil-A, and their dumpster building is surprisingly close to my property. It's going to be impactful. The lights are going to be impactful. It looks like they're doing a phase 1 and a phase 2. The additional building that they were putting off to the side. So they started putting the fence up, which covers Bill's area, but my whole backyard now, as it's been since they started building, is, pretty much open. I got an old fence up there. I don't want to put a new fence up. They're supposed to be putting a fence up. It looks like they stopped, and maybe they're not going to continue until they get the other project going, which that's not acceptable. I got noise, I got stink, I got dust balls from them working. I'm going to have traffic lights coming through when they pull into that drive-through, and maybe you're going to tell me I need to talk to the planning board. I don't know, but there's a gentleman here that's my neighbor. He's got the same problem. His area is next to mine. So if they don't continue the fence at least, we're going to be, kind of in the wind, and it's Route 130, so it could be easy hit and run, hop over the fence and take what you want.
Mayor, may I?
Yes.
So one thing I do know is that, as Mr. Sagenario stated, the planning board approves plans, okay, for projects like the one you're discussing. The only thing, I can tell you that I'm not a member of the planning board. I'm the administrator. I sit up here with the township committee. The responsibility of the planning board engineer is to ensure that the approved plan that was approved by the planning board is actually being effectuated correctly. They have to do the inspections. They have to make sure before a CO is issued that it is done. From what I'm hearing tonight, multiple people feel that that is not the case.
Yeah, the communication's been
Okay.
Zippo.
So, what I'm trying to convey is, if I don't know if you agree with the plan, it sounds like you don't like the fact that, and that's okay. That is done, that's approved. The key now is that the people building over there are meeting every part of that plan that was approved. And that's what's being done now. So does that mean?
Right, and that plan has a fence that goes all the way from here to
As an
there.
example. Gotcha. So that is what they're in the midst of doing. If there's anything that is being done or not done that you believe was in the plan, or when you review the plan, then that has to be taken up with the planning board. And I think everybody up here would agree, and I don't want to speak for them, that has to happen, that is their responsibility.
Right.
This group doesn't have the responsibility to say, oh, you know what, I think, that's supposed to be 2 inches to the left or the right. They don't do that.
Yeah.
But they want to make sure this is our community, and that the planning board and that the engineer is making sure that the spec's being met, and that is their responsibility.
And you
So-
guys want to make sure the planning board's doing their job,
Well,
right? So I'm not pissed.
Of course. You got a major user there. We're all aware of that. It's going to impact, that area of 130. We understand that.
Yeah, and
My
we're all
suggestion-
signed up with that by now. It's happening.
Yeah, it's going to happen, but we want it to happen in the best possible way.
Right.
That it's a good use for the town, but it's also good for the neighbors that are going to be impacted because of where you live. And I know everyone believes that and agrees with that. And when we say this, we don't want you to think in any way that everyone on this dais doesn't care about your concerns. The appropriate place to go is, in fact, and I know that means another meeting, the planning board, and say, look, it doesn't appear, I'm not going to say what your opinion is, but whatever your opinion is, you go there and you say, I have these concerns, and take it from there.
So what you're saying is,
What am I saying?
I should talk to the planning board?
But doesn't mean you can't come here. If you want to, you can come here and talk about anything you want, but we're just trying to guide you,
No,
in my
I appreciate
opinion,
it.
the right way.
If I could answer part of it. You mentioned a fence. If those plans call for the completion of that fence, and they don't complete that fence, okay, I will say this committee's gonna do something about it.
We don't really have the power to do anything about it.
Right.
But this committee is not going to sit by while, I'm not saying the planning board's ignoring it, but if that fence needs to be constructed, we're going to make sure that fence goes up.
Right.
And let's not, and I don't want to overstep.
You are not overstepping at all.
Right? We're going to make sure whatever is on those plans is done in accordance with the plans. It's
Hey, if you
not
got
our-
my back, I'm good.
Yeah. it's-
So I
you
can
know.
go to the website and that'll have the planning board people there? I can-
Yeah, we'll make
Yes.
sure that, I believe the planning board schedule's on there and it's updated.
Calendar on the homepage.
Right.
At the very bottom, there's a Google Calendar, and all the planning board meetings are on there.
Okay.
And my suggestion is try to be as specific as possible, right? And then if you can get the plans or whatever and say, look, this fence is supposed to be there, it's not there.
Right.
You know, whatever, the fence is not high enough, or the whatever you think the
Anomalies.
is not being done, the anomalies are, or, you know, bring it up. And because if it's not being done, these people are not gonna sit here and not let it happen.
And if I may add, Mayor,
Please.
so this is the governing body, Township Committee, right? But there's professionals who have certain responsibilities to carry out the vision of this governing body. And there's a township engineer, there's a planning board engineer. I can tell you, I'm not an engineer. I would not be able to sit down with you with that plan. I could tell you the basics of it, but I would advise, you know, try to reach out and figure out, the professional can sit down with you and go through everything and show you the plan and how it meets what was authorized, and I'm sure that they would be happy to do that.
Okay.
That would be more helpful. Again, not that coming here and letting us know how you feel, that's important. I wouldn't be able to go through that plan with you. Maybe somebody else up here could, maybe, but we have an engineer that can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to the right people, so.
If you have any trouble getting a hold of somebody, call me. My name's Eric Schubiger. Okay? Call me, and I will find out a way to get somebody to get a hold of you.
All right,
And
that
if
sounds
I'm
good.
going to answer that gentleman's question, just so we're complete here. In terms of who audits the township, we have an auditor that's appointed every year. I believe it's Bowman and Company.
Yes.
They don't audit whether or not projects are being done properly. Basically, they tear apart our financials, right, to make sure we're doing things properly, we're purchasing things properly, we're budgeting, using our money properly. That's what the audits for public agencies do. They don't come in and audit projects. Just so, to answer that question.
Okay. Thank you.
No,
I'm good.
You're good. Thank you, Mr. Graham.
they don't audit board minutes.
Thank you.
They review them.
They review them, but they don't
No.
audit them for accuracy.
No, I just said they reviewed them, that's all.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you.
That they're done, yeah.
Hi, Amy Robertson, 307 Jane Road. Myself and my husband, we live behind the Chick-fil-A lot, a little bit to the left. And I just wanted to come up and let my voice be heard, just as far as like what the other residents have said as well. That, you know, there's been an increase in road noise, there's been an increase in trash, there's been an increase in just general noise, which is very disturbing when you go outside and you kind of want to hear the birds. And so just wanted to make that known as well. And I also wanted to ask, what is the jurisdiction as far as existing properties for like the tile and the tile and the cabinet place? Because they also store their belongings outside, which seems like a fire hazard, and it also seems very dangerous. A couple months ago, we had a party that got out of control down the street, and the kids were hopping over our fence, and it was very, very dangerous for them to have all of their tile supplies laying outside their building if these kids are hopping over the fence. So I just wanted to make that known as well.
So if we can actually answer that question.
Okay.
And I will say that we have jurisdiction over that.
Okay.
We have code enforcement personnel. We have certain codes that allow for certain things to be stored on site, that require or restrict certain activities. And I can tell you that that is one site that we are actively engaged with.
Okay.
And probably literally as we speak, we're engaged with that site. So
Okay.
You know, they had some T-Mobile trailers out there several months ago. You know, we issued them notices, they moved those, but it seems to be kind of a continuing kind of thing. But I will tell you, the people in this room are on top of it.
Okay.
And we're going to make sure we stay on top of it.
Thank you.
Mike?
Absolutely. Code enforcement is within the purview of this body and the staff.
Okay,
And-
because we were hoping that maybe Chick-fil-A would take care of their property a little bit better than this other entity has, because we live directly behind them, and we can actually see the makeshift structures that they have built on their property to store things, and it is incredibly an eyesore.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Madam Mayor, if I may, to answer your other part of the question, if the people jump on the fence, call the police.
Oh, we did.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I was
They-
gonna say,
yeah.
that's
The-
what you need to do for that part of that.
The
process.
police were very, they were very forthcoming and very immediate.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that.
And then, as far as Chick-fil-A, so one issue that we also have with that tile place, so they don't take care of their property. And so what I noticed is in between the Chick-fil-A property and our property is a bunch of what is now growing and very tall weeds. So who is responsible for taking care of that?
Mike, do you know who owns that piece of property?
That would be Chick-fil-A.
It's part of the ongoing property maintenance directive.
With Chick-fil-A or with, with
The
the
other
tile
property.
place?
Yes.
Yes, same common.
I think that's part of the,
That's part of that
what we're trying to
issue.
address now.
Okay, because, so the land next to the Chick-fil-A, who is responsible for that little area between their land and our land?
Chick-fil-A.
So,
Not
No,
Chick-fil-A.
the other
The
property
lot
owner.
next to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
trying to do a map in my head.
The tile
That's
place.
also the tile place.
We're going to say
That's
the
also-
tile place.
As you're looking
Okay.
at the property immediately to the right of
So-
the Chick-fil-A, right?
There's a little bit of, so think of it like this, and so our property is down here.
Yep.
And so right here, there's a little bit of weed, like very, very tall weeds. It almost looks like it's growing into trees.
That's the common.
Is it in the backside of the property? or
Yes, it is in the
So
backside of the property.
Mike, it's the backside of the property.
Understood, understood. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So who would be responsible for taking care of that maintenance?
Also the tile place.
I believe it's also the tile place, but we do have people currently working on that as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe it's okay.
Mona Washington again. Can I ask you, on Bell Road, is that the dead end?
Yes.
So, if it's any consolation to everyone here, my best friend lived there. The Zimmermans lived there. And okay, so if you remember the mini mall, okay, so when that conflagration was happening, everything worked out. Let me put it that way. And you'd be surprised what a strong "don't get on my property," what that would, you might not even have to call the police. Kids buckle under. That's all I wanted to say. Happy
Okay,
comment.
you can talk to them about that. It's not public comment.
Well, I'm saying you might not have to do anything.
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you.
Hi, Diane Graham, 306 Bell. So, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but so is Chick-fil-A not able to open unless those plans are completed? Is that the understanding? Because the secondary building is not even started. So I feel like it's like,
They need a CO to open. Mayor, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
please.
but
go.
will they get a CO without having that second, like the plans were two buildings, Chick-fil-A and a retail establishment. So we're behind that
no.
retail
No.
establishment.
Yeah.
We have a partial
That's
fence.
separate.
It's
That is
that is a
separate.
completely separate
Separate
site.
entity.
That's a completely separate entity.
Yet it was all
Chick-fil-A-
in the same plans.
Mike, do you want to speak to that?
Yes, Deputy Mayor. So, Mayor, I think those plans, I don't think, I know those plans were modified post the appellate division series. There was a phasing plan put in place. So the construction would occur, phase one, Chick-fil-A, phase two, the vacant lot. That does not mean that the fence isn't to be installed, which is what I believe the committee referred to earlier.
Yes.
So we're aware of that. But the building can happen in the future.
Okay,
Make sense?
yeah. So before they were to open, I would have a fence.
The court said, no, you have to split it, two different projects. The planning board agreed to that. That does not mean that the barrier, which is a 6-foot vinyl fence,
8.
Eight, thank you for correcting me. Thank you. Has to be resolved.
Well,
That-
and I'm
that's where we're
partial.
at.
My concern is I'm partial covered now, partial. So it stops in the, not quite in the
It
middle.
should, right, I don't have the plans in front of me. It's my understanding that it would cover both full lots up to the end of the existing parcel that's for the, has the
Retail.
outdoor merchandise, yes. I don't even want to say it's retail, I'm not sure.
Yeah, whatever it
Yes,
is,
you are
medical.
retail,
So when
you
it's ever
are
come
in
to $2,
Yeah.
you got them all around.
So I think we're saying the same thing. So it's two
Yeah.
different construction phases.
Yeah, but I
Thank
guess
you,
it's up to the
Deputy.
And they all
owner.
went.
I understand.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Seeing no one else come forward. Okay, seeing no one else come forward, I will make a motion to close public comment. May I have a second?
Second that, Madam Mayor.
Okay, voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment is now closed. Do we have any comments from committee this evening?
I have nothing.
Madam Mayor, I have
Yes.
one comment.
Sure.
Mr. Schlachter and the other residents that came regarding Chick-fil-A, although we don't have jurisdiction over the planning board, I don't want anybody to leave here thinking that we will not take these comments and relay those as well to the planning board. Not that you shouldn't do that, because you're going to be your strongest advocates by going in person to those particular meetings, but we will also be relaying some of the concerns that we heard here tonight. So I don't want you to think that we're kind of just saying, hey, we don't hear you, right, deaf ears, you're going to have to go there. We hear that, we all take notes, and we will absolutely pass those concerns on. We just don't have a lot of authority to say you need to do this or that, right? They are independent of Township Committee. But we certainly will be your advocate.
Mr. Horner,
What's that?
I'm sure you could find ways. It seems you have certain skills.
Thank you
See
very
you guys.
much. Mr. McGill, did you have any comments?
Yeah, I just want to say, come to the music when we have our things in the park. Those are really fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
We're still in a meeting.
May I have a
Thank you.
motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second the motion. Voice vote, please. Aye. Nays,
Aye.
abstentions. This meeting is adjourned. Next meeting is Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Please remember, due to the 4th of July holiday, it will be July 21st.